Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to see an informal introduction to Python. Okay, so in the following examples, that means some examples are written over here as you can see. So in the following examples, input and output are distinguished by the presence or absence of prompts. Okay, so you can see in the previous lecture, actually in detail, I discussed about prompts. This one is known as primary prompt and this one is known as your secondary prompt. Okay, so if you have not watched the previous lecture, I will recommend that you watch it, which is under this name. The previous topic was using the Python interpreter. So you can see that video, you will understand everything about prompts and all, and then you can continue here. Okay, so as we saw that for input, output and all, we always write the commands in this prompts, right? So we can understand that any particular line is written, right? That is input or that is output, that we can understand by the presence or absence of this prompts, right? So if let us say the prompts are present, like for this example, here this prompt is present, this is primary prompt, right? So here the prompt is present, that means what? That means it is an input. Okay, and here any prompt is not there, only just 4 is written, so that means this is output. Okay, so from here what you're understanding, that if prompts are there, that is like an input, and if prompts are not there, then that is output. Okay, so that is what is mentioned here. To repeat the example, you must type everything after the prompt, right? So if you have done some kind of practice, you might have seen that we type everything after when the prompt is present there. Okay, when the prompt appears, lines that do not begin with a prompt are output from the interpreter, right? So which are not beginning with the prompt, as I have shown here, these are not beginning with prompt. These blue color ones, so those are your output actually. Okay, so note that a secondary prompt on a line by itself in an example means you must type a blank line. This is used to end a multi-line command. Okay, this also I have shown in the previous lecture using if. Okay, in if construct we have seen about this secondary prompt. Okay, but so here I don't think any such secondary prompt example is there, so you can check out my that previous video and you will understand how secondary prompt appears, and for that case what we have to do for executing the commands. Okay, all right. Now the thing is that you can toggle, so this particular paragraph is written for whatever example boxes are present here. Okay, so you can just read here. You can toggle the display of prompts and output by clicking on these things. So actually what it is saying, that if you see this particular example box, here you see in the upper right corner this button is given, right? So if you click on this button, what will happen? Only you will get the outputs. Okay, sorry, only you will get the commands. Okay, so why they have done it this way? So that you can copy this and paste it in your terminal and you can execute it. Okay, and again if you click back on this, then you will get everything along with the output. Okay, so if you're clicking, the output will disappear. Again if you click, output will appear. Okay, so you can just copy this and you can see that same output you're getting or not in your interpreter. So for that purpose they have given this feature. Okay, so that's what they have described here, you can read it. Now the thing is that many of the examples in this manual, even those entered at the interactive prompt, include comments, right? So you will see all the example boxes, you see whatever examples are given, everywhere some comments are written. Okay, these things, these are all comments, right? So what are comments? Comments in Python starts with a hash character. First of all, you see all the commands comments you see, everything is starting with a hash character, right? And extend to the end of the physical line. Now if a command is there, like here command is there, so this entire line it will grab as the comment only. Okay, now a comment may appear at the start of a line or following white space or code. Okay, so as you can see here, at the beginning only one comment is there, here this comment is following these lines, right? But not within a string literal. So any comment cannot be present within a string literal. You see, this is a string, and inside that, if you want that inside this I will give some comment, that is not possible. This entire thing will be considered as a proper string only, and if you print this text, then this entire line along with hash, this is not a comment, like this everything will be printed. Okay. So in this case, a hash character within a string literal is just a hash character. It is not as a comment. Okay. So now the question is that what are comments and why do we write it, right? So comments are some extra lines which we write for increasing our readability. These comments have nothing to do with the Python. So interpreter completely ignores this line. Okay, these things we just write so that when we are directly seeing the code, we can understand what we have done. Okay, because you are learning Python for developing softwares and applications, right? Which are really like having multiple lines of codes, okay, hundreds and thousands and lakhs of codes, right? So in that case you might not understand that where what you have written, so for clarifying that we add comments. Okay, so it is written also, since comments are to clarify code and are not interpreted by Python, they may be omitted when typing in examples. Okay, so if you're just typing examples, you are just doing some kind of rough practice, in that case you can omit comments. But if you're developing some software and all properly, big programs you're writing, then it is a very good practice to add comments to your program. Okay. All right. So here that only examples are given that how the comments are written. So you can see this. And after this, we will see the next unit, which is using Python as a calculator. So Python language can be used as a calculator, very quick calculator, that is big expressions you can write and quickly you can just hit enter and it will give you the output. Okay, so it can be used in that way. So here they have shown some examples of Python commands. So you have to first of all start the interpreter. How to do that I have shown in the previous video. In this lecture also I will be doing it. And so you have to wait for the primary prompt, which does not takes a long time. That is true. Very instantly you will get the primary prompt, and after that you can start writing your commands. Okay. So first of all, they have shown here that how numbers can be manipulated. So interpreter acts as a simple calculator. Okay, you can type an expression at it and it will write the value. Okay, so you can write all the expressions and it will give the value. Now, expression syntax is straightforward. That is, as you solve in mathematics, it is quite similar to that with little bit of differences. Okay. So the operators which we use are your plus, minus, division, multiplication, right? Can be used to perform arithmetic. Parentheses are used for your, grouping and all, so that you can increase the preference of some particular operation. Okay. So remember here, in case of Python, only we can use parentheses. Like in general maths, we can also use square brackets, we use curly brackets, we use bar brackets, right? Those things are not allowed here. So in Python, only you can group everything using parentheses. So this is a small note you should make down. Okay. Now, so here some examples are there. I will take you to the terminal and show. But here, let us just quickly see the theoretical part and then we can go to the terminal. So here the integer numbers are there, 2, 4, 20, right? So here whatever like these numbers are there, 2 is there, okay, 4 is there. So all these are what? These are having the type as int. They are integers, right? The ones with a fractional part, like you can see this is a fractional part, right? 5.0, this is 1.6. So these things which are having fractional part, these are having the type as float. Okay, that means they are of float type. We will see more about numeric types later in the tutorial. Okay, so along with that I will also be showing you multiple examples regarding numerical operations. Okay. All right, now coming to division. Division always returns a float. So this you have to understand properly, that whatever kind of division you're performing, no matter it is generating a integer only, but even if means if the number is completely divisible also, in that case also the number will come with 0.0. That means always it represents the output in the form of float only. Okay, so this you have to understand. So if you say this first one, 7 by 3 has been done, right? So the answer is coming something 5.666, and after that, since it is continuing, okay, it is actually non-terminating. So that is why they have terminated it by 7, okay? But if you want to do flow division means that only you want the integer part, rest of the decimal you are not interested in. In that case, you have to use flow division, which is double slash. So if you're writing 17 double slash 3, in that case the output will be only 5 and the rest of the decimal part has been omitted, okay? And this is the thing which is not present in our simple mathematics, right? In mathematics we don't have this operator, so keep in mind that in Python we are having this extra. So in this case, we will get an integer result, okay? And also there is a separate operator for finding a remainder, okay? Again, in maths, we don't have any such remainder operator, but in Python, we are having that, okay? So this is your remainder operator, okay? So if you're doing 17, okay, and then this modulus 3, in that case, what you will get? You will get 2. 2 means that the remainder is 2, okay, when you're dividing 17 by 3. So this is how you have to keep in mind all these operators. After that, with Python, it is also possible to use double star operator, which is actually known as exponential operator in case of Python, okay? So when you're writing this, the exponent will be calculated. So if here 5 an exponential operator and then 2 is written, that means it will be 5 square, which is your 25. And if you have written it this way, that means it is 2 to the power 7, which is 128, okay? Again, like this separate, in maths we write it in a different way, right, as a subscript, but sorry, superscript, but here we use this particular operator, okay? After that, we are having the equal sign, also known as assignment operator. So it is used to assign a value to a variable, okay? Afterwards, no result is displayed before the next interactive prompt. So if you're writing like this, let us say width is equal to 20, and if you hit enter, after that any such output will not get generated, because the meaning of this is that you take this value 20 and store in with variable, right? But any output will not be generated, will not get generated, okay? It will just prompt the next input, okay? So after that, some other line you can write, okay? Again, something now here, since you're doing some kind of calculation with into height, that is why the output is coming, okay? So I hope you got it. Now the next thing is, if a variable is not defined, okay, if a variable is not defined, in that case you will get name error, which I have shown in the previous lecture also. So like till now, whatever here all the examples have been shown, here any n variable is not there, right? In n any value is not stored, so that is why name error is coming, that n is not defined, okay? So I hope it is clear. Now there is full support for floating point. Operators with mixed type operands convert the integer operand to floating point, okay? So always remember, there is a support for floating point numbers. What is the meaning of that? You see here 4 is given, here 3.75, and then -1, right? So the numbers which are not floating point, like here 4 and this 1, they will be converted to floating point. How? So they will become 4.0 and 1.0, and then the operation will be performed. Understood? So the support is given to floating point numbers. Okay, so the integers will be converted to floating point, and then calculation will be performed. So please remember this. And after this, here one very interesting feature is there, and that is, in the interactive mode, the last printed, okay, keep this in mind, the last printed expression is assigned to the variable underscore. This variable, this is what with symbol underscore, okay? So as you can see here, what it is trying to say, that let us say tax equal to this we are having, okay, we are calculating some value and storing in tax. After that, in price, I am storing the value as 100.50, okay? And then I am calculating what? Price into tax, okay? So after multiplying, I am getting this value, right? Now you see one thing, this value 12.5625 is not stored in any variable, right? Is it stored? No, I have not stored it in any variable, right? But then if you want to take this value, then how to do that? Okay, you might say that I will type it again, right? Price plus, if I want to add this value with price, then I will type it. But let us assume that there is a very big value coming. In that case, how you will type? That is a very tedious task, right? In that case, what we can use, a very simple method is there, that is plus and then this underscore. So this underscore is a by default variable name for the the latest output which has got generated. So right now the latest output is this, so this value will be stored in this underscore. Okay, so it is like a variable. Got it? So automatically it will be stored, you don't have to do anything. And then this price plus this value, price is 100.50, will be added to this 12.5625, and the final value you will get as this. Clear? So you can check this out with other numbers also, and you will get the right answer. Okay, after that you see one round function has been used, right, for rounding the value to two decimal places. And here also you see which number to round. That for that here underscore is written. Underscore means what? The latest output. Now you see this output has come, so this has become latest, not the 12 point, not this one. Okay, this is the latest output, so this will be taken here in round, and then that value is getting rounded. So the final output which you are getting, that is 113.06. Okay, so this is how, if the latest output you want to take in some variable and you want to do some manipulation, in that case the default variable you can use as underscore. Otherwise, if you want to give some name by yourself, then you can store it in that. Okay. Alright, so this variable you see should be treated as read only. Of course, in this underscore, you cannot write something, okay? So don't explicitly assign a value to it. You would create an independent local variable with the same name, masking the built-in variable with its magic behavior. Understood? So what will happen if you're writing underscore and storing some value in that, that new value will be stored, but then it will not be able to take the latest output. That whatever magical behavior is there, that it will lose. Okay, so keep care of all these things if you're doing, okay, if you're using all these features. All right, now in addition to int and float, okay, Python also supports other types of numbers which are decimal and fraction. Okay, so here the links are given, you can just visit them and you can see that what kind of like decimal objects are present, okay, how they are written and everything. You can see that in detail, but otherwise you can keep it to a brief introduction also. Okay, so just have the knowledge that decimal and fractions are also possible here. Okay, after that, Python also has built-in support for complex numbers. I don't know you have studied about complex numbers or not. If you have done, then you will be able to identify this example, right? This is how we denote complex numbers. So we can write complex numbers also in Python and store in some variable. Okay, so it will have the real number, you know, imaginary part, and for imaginary part we write it by the suffix j, right? So for that you can use a small letter j or capital letter J, both are valid. Okay, so this is one such case where Python is not case sensitive, right? Okay, so these are the complex, so that means complex numbers also can be represented. So this is the brief introduction about how numbers are considered and what kind of operations can be performed and how you can manipulate the numbers and use the Python interpreter as a calculator. Okay, below this about text also it is written, so most probably I will take this in the next lecture, not in this. Okay, so right now we can just go to the terminal and see some numerical manipulations. So I hope the terminal is visible. Okay, all right. So first of all, we have to invoke the interpreter. How to do that? We have to do it by writing Python 3, right? .11 also you can write, and this is how it will come. Okay, so here version and extra information will come first, and then we will be able to use the then actually the first primary prompt will come, as I discussed in the beginning of the lecture, and then from here you can write your Python code. Okay, all right. So some numbers manipulation if we have to do, then you can just like very simple 4 plus 5 you can do. Okay, and you will get 9 as the answer, right? So first of all, I'm showing all the basic operations, and then we will see something else. Okay, so addition we have done, you can do subtraction as well. 8 minus 2 maybe, so you will get 6. We can also do like this, 2 minus 5, so in that case you will get minus 3. So it is completely that you will get negative numbers also. Okay, and then multiplication we can perform, that is 5 into, okay, 3 maybe, so 15 you are getting, okay. And then division we can perform. So for case of division, as we discussed, let us say we are doing 5 divided by 4, okay. So if we do this, then we are getting 1.25, right? Now, as we discussed for floor division, that if let us say we don't want this decimal part, we just want the integer part, in that case we can do 5 by 5 and then floor division. So double slash we have to use and then 4. So now you see only 1 we are getting, right? After that, we can also have the exponent operator, right? So that is 2, and then double asterisk symbol you have to use, and then let us say I'm writing 4. So this is the meaning that I want to do 2 to the power 4, which is 16, okay? All right. After that, we can see the remainder one, okay? So if let us say 6, I am dividing by 2, okay. Means if I want to find the remainder, then we have to use the modulus operator, right? So 6 modulus 2 if we are using, then it is giving 0, because 6 is completely divided by 2, and in that case the remainder is 0, right? All right. Now one more thing we discussed, and that was your let us say if you're writing minus 2 and then exponent operator, let us say I'm writing, and then we are writing 4, okay. In this case, what will happen? The answer is minus 16, okay. So my negatives also you can take, it is not a problem, okay. But here you might notice one thing, that minus 2 to the power 4, you might understand it this way, right? In that case, what should happen? It should be positive 16, right? Because the power is even. So if the power is even, in that case we get always positive number. But here we are getting negative, right? Why? Because actually this exponent operator is having high priority. So first of all, it is calculating 2 in 2 to the power 4. This is what it is calculating, which is 16, and then this minus is getting associated, which is your minus 16. So these are small things which you have to keep in mind, okay. All right. So now this is how the number manipulations are done. After that, a few other things were shown, like let us say I want to print the value of some variable, okay, which I have not declared till now. Maybe I can write here n, right, as it was given in the documentation. So let us say I'm writing n. So in this case, what is happening? It is giving name error. Why? Because this name is not defined. I have not taken n anywhere before this, right? So that is why it is showing error, okay. So this is present. After this, one more thing which about division I discussed, let me show that. I said that let us say if I am writing here 6 by 2, right? In that case, what it should print? See, here both the numbers are integers, right? But even after that, if I produce the output, what is getting produced? 3.0, right? That means even after that, if division I'm performing, then always it will generate the answer as floating point, right? And that was the point written in the documentation, okay. So this you have to keep in mind. So 6 by 2, don't say 3, it is 3.0. If nothing is there after decimal, then at least point will be there, 0.0 will be there, okay. So if you want completely integer part, then you have to use this floor division like this one, okay. So I hope now it is clear. After that, if you want to write the expressions, you can write expressions as you do in calculator. Let us say 4 plus 7 minus 3 maybe, okay. So 7 plus 4, 11, 11 minus 3, 8. So this is how the calculations will be performed, okay. So like this, in this anything such is not there. This is how you can write multiple expressions by yourself, and you can try out that how the things are getting calculated, okay. After that, as I said that complex numbers also we can write, okay. So complex number you can write it like this. Let us say c is equal to 2 plus 3j, okay. So this is a complex number, so we can write it this way. And now you see, since I just simply stored the value, it did not give me any output, right? Because we are not trying to print anything. So it gave me the next primary prompt, okay. So it is prompting for the next instruction, okay. So if you want to print the value, then you just have to write simply C and then 2 plus 3j, like this it will be printed. Okay, so make sure that we have not added any parenthesis here, but by default it is added like this. Okay, so 2 plus 3j. Okay, after that, one more thing which we read in the documentation, and that was about that underscore, right? So let us say I am calculating something, or before that, let's say I'm storing length. Okay, length is equal to what? Length is equal to 4. Okay, and then breadth is equal to something 6. Okay, and then let us say I just want to print this breadth. I'm just printing it. So 6 is coming. So this is the recent output which has come, right? So in this case, if I want, I can do it like this, length into, okay, and then simply underscore I'm writing, right? So in this case, what it will take? It will take the recent, the latest output, which is 6 here. So it will take 6 and then it will calculate as 24. Understood? So like this we can do it. Okay, so I hope all these things are clear. Okay, more variations if you want to try, then you try it by yourself. Okay, that how to write the expressions, have some practice and all. And otherwise, if you face any difficulty, or if some kind of error is coming, or maybe something which you're not understanding, then you can comment and I will try to help you. Okay, all right, so we can go back to the documentation. And okay, so this was all about numbers, that how we can use it, how we can manipulate the numbers, and we can use it as a calculator. What about underscore? What about complex numbers, right? About all the basic operators which are present in Python. So we have discussed everything regarding that. And the next topic, which is everything about text. So this will be a lengthy video, and that is why I will consider this in the next lecture. Okay, so stay tuned with us. I'm ending this lecture here. Thank you.